Hey guys, it's Lainey. Welcome back to Crafted by Lucas. In today's quick tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to calibrate your Cricut machine. I'm going to be using the Cricut Joy Xtra today for this tutorial. It is the newest machine by Cricut. It is lightweight, compact in size. I just love this machine. So we'll be using this machine today to learn how to calibrate your machine. But two takeaways for this tutorial is just because you calibrate your machine once does not mean that you're not going to have to do it again. I recommend recalibrating your machine before you do a print then cut job. This just ensures accuracy when cutting, and then you don't waste your materials as well. So give this video a thumbs up if it's helpful. Subscribe if you're new so you don't miss out on future videos, and let's get started.
So here we are in the home screen of Cricut Design Space. To calibrate your machine, you want to go to your settings. So at the top of the toolbar here, where my name is, I'm going to select that drop down arrow and go into settings. And this is just your general design space settings. We are calibrating a machine, so I'm going to go over to machines. There's a few options here, such as new product setup, machine care. We are calibrating, so we are going to select machine calibration. And the first thing we need to do is select the Cricut machine that we're going to be using today. I'm going to select the Joy Xtra machine, and I'm going to go ahead and select start. So now we are just going to follow the prompts. It's a step-by-step process. It says print then cut, so let's select that. So for this screen, it is finding your printer via Bluetooth. I'm using a standard printer, and we are going to be printing on standard copy paper. I'm going to go ahead and select print. You can see that my printer is selected right there, the Workforce 7840. Let's go ahead and print. This is going to send the calibration worksheet to my printer. So now the calibration worksheet has been printed through my printer. You have an option to print again if necessary. I'm going to go ahead and select continue. And now it's going to show you step by step on what to do and answer the questions accordingly based on the cuts of the calibration. So the first thing is we need to switch to the overhead camera and load our mat with our calibration worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and select continue. And now it looks like it is wanting us to select our machine again. So I'm going to select my Joy Xtra for the cutting process. So right here it just says prepare your machine. So you need the fine point blade loaded in the clamp. If you need to move the guides or rollers, you can. And now it just says that you can load your mat into the machine. Your machine is now ready to start the calibration process.
And here is our calibration worksheet. Like I said, just printed on a standard printer, standard copy paper. It's got some bold black squares or rectangles, dashes with numbers along the top, dashes with letters along the bottom. And now we need our mat. There are a variety of mats by Cricut and other brands. The colors indicate the stickiness. So for these two mats, for example, this is a standard grip mat, which is going to be too sticky. This blue mat here is the light grip mat, which is exactly what we need because we're working with paper. If you're working with vinyl, adhesive vinyl, this is a better mat to use. So let me move these aside. And I'm going to bring in a used light grip mat. Now, I will say, if you've got older mats that have lost their stickiness, you can use it for this kind of material. But for the sake of this video, because I have those mats as well, we are going to stick to the rules and use the light grip. So I removed the protective film. I'm going to move that to the side. And now I'm going to align the calibration sheet on my mat within those grids. My machine is blinking. It is ready for us to load the mat. I just need to line this up, lightly get it pressed down there, and load my mat into my Cricut machine. And the first thing it's going to do is register the mat. And then the second thing it's going to do after we are prompted to a new screen on our computer, it is then going to register the actual calibration worksheet. So this just takes a little bit of time. So that step is done on my computer here, and this is a laptop. This I just removed my screen. So my machine is connected via Bluetooth, and it says to start calibration, click go. So I'm going to select go. And it just says it's scanning the calibration sheet. So this is what's going to take a minute. But after it's done, we're just going to follow the prompts and answer yes or no. so we can continue through the calibration process. Now, for some reason, if the cuts aren't accurate and you're answering no to questions, it will prompt you just to print this out again and start over. And sometimes you have to do that. I believe it'll let you do that up to 3 times. And I have done that in the past. Okay, so it just made the first cut, and the first cut is the center square here. And it's asking if the cut line is touching the printed line all the way around. So basically it wants to make sure that the blade that's loaded in our clamp cut in that black line, because that's essentially the accuracy. If it's cutting outside that line, that means that the sensor or the calibration, the alignment is off and everything else will be off. So this looks great. You can go one step further by grabbing a tool and picking up what just cut out. So you can see that as well. But never unload your machine. Your mat is going to stay in your machine until the calibration process is completely done. So that was a great cut. So I'm going to answer yes and hit continue. And it's going to proceed to the next step of the calibration process, which is going over the dashes. It's going to go horizontally first and then work vertically, and then it'll ask us questions on the numbers and the letters. And once again, it's just wanting to know the best cut. So right now it's looking like number 10 is the best cut. It looks like the cut is going directly down the center of that bold line. And it's just going to continue through for the letters. Okay, so it's got 2 questions here. It says top line and then right line. So the top one is the numbers, and it's wanting me to pick out the best cut. So like I said, it looked like the 10 was the best. It looked like that line went through the center, but now that I'm really looking at it, I think it's actually number 9. So I'm going to select number 9. And then now for the letters, which one was the best? Excuse my head. I think L was the best for this row. So selecting that as well. And I'm going to click continue. Now it's working on the last rectangle. And this is going to be a yes or no answer. Was the cut line on the black line? And it seems to be. And there we have it. That was a really good cut. So I'm going to say yes. The cut is close enough to the center of the black line. I am satisfied. Select yes and continue. And now the calibration is done. So now I can select unload. And now to remove the paper, I'm going to turn my mat over, bending my mat back, and the paper just peels back effortlessly. And like I said, if you've got older mats that you've been using for a while and they're other colors, whether it's the purple or the green, and they're just not that sticky, you can use them for paper projects or what have you. So now that I'm done with my mat, I'm going to bring back in my film and just lay this down so it can keep my mat protected. Alright guys, so that is the how and why to calibrate your Cricut machine. If this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.